Hello, welcome to video GTM13 Unexpected Complications, the solution. Its purpose is to give you an example of how to deal with surprise tournament changes on short notice before the tournament begins. At this point, this database is exactly the same as GTM12, the plan. We copied it from GTM12, renamed it to the solution, and opened it. So before we drop Ricochet from the roster, let's take a last look at the cost prize plan for 16 golfers. Excluding what happens with ties, every effort has been made in this budget to wind up with a whole dollar awards for each winning player. Notice the whole numbers for the cost for the event per player is $9 for day one, $5 for day two, and $6 for the weekend. The facts are that 15 players have already submitted their tournament fees at $20 each. Custom scorecards have been printed on the 16 players and distributed at the dinner. We need to keep a general plan of the events. There's not enough time to reconfigure the threesomes, print and redistribute new custom scorecards for 15 players. So three things will happen to the budget when Ricochet is changed to not playing in the database. The first thing is the tournament budget will be wrong and will need to be changed to wind up with $300 for the budget. Secondly, budgets for each event will need to be reviewed, with some will be reduced. Thirdly, the cost per player values will go fractional. If the event is canceled and we pay out in whole dollars only, the fractional amount, which will be pennies, will remain in the treasury for each player as unawarded prizes. That mounts up, and these funds could be raffled off at the end of the tournament. So let's get started and change Ricochet to not playing. So this is problem number one. So we'll go to select golfers and we'll find Ricochet and we'll shut him off from playing. We need to reassign ABCDs. We do that. And let's go to relate data and we'll clear and reassign just the way we had it before, that mix. And we'll say okay to that. It says short T groups will be created, of course. And this is the usual message about these boredom things. Now let's look at the cost prize plan. Event weekend has 16 prizes, but only 15 teams. Excess prizes must be removed. Okay, we'll do that a little later. So we need to configure this budget down below of all of the events to roll up to $300 for the tournament budget and $20 for the cost per player. So let's keep the day one skins costs the same. Doing that, we take away $144 for the skins. We're left with $156 for events day two and weekend. Now let's reduce the prizes on day two. So let's change day two prizes to, let me filter, 36 for the first prize, 24 for the second, and we'll leave the third one as is. So we have $72 for the new day number two. If we take that away from the $156, we get $84 left for the weekend event. Now let's get rid of that excess tournament prize. That's going to be way down the bottom here. This will be weekend number position 16. We only need 15 of them, so if I press the delete key, and yes, I want to delete it. So that's done. Now selecting the weekend, we'll filter for that event, and you'll see that all 15 positions have to be changed so that it adds up to $84. This is best planned offline. There are two ways using spreadsheets to make this reassignment process a little easier. One way is a ratio method using data from the 16-player weekend and cutting it to 15. The ratio to be used would be 84 divided by 96 because those were the costs of the events. 84 we need, 96 is what it was. And if you do that math, it comes out to 0.875. So I just copied it down to the row. Here's the result if you take and you multiply that times that, you get 12.25. And this was copied all the way down to the bottom. Now, I've rounded it. This is nothing more than rounding that down. As you can see, it's round E3. I'll round all of these. That's what that is. And it adds up to 84, but I look at the pattern and I'm not too thrilled with this. So I changed some of these numbers around. I want this to be $1. I want to be 12 up here, which is fine. But these ones in the middle I monkeyed with, and I've got $84. I got it just the way I want it. Another way is the goal seek method applied to the 15-player weekend event. Here you have 15 players. You want the bottom one at 1, and you tell it to increment by 1. These cells are all set up in a specific way, and those who know how to use goal seek would know how to set this up. At any rate, let's do a goal seek on this. We know we want this sum to be $84. So I'll go into extensions. This is Google Sheets I'm using. I'll pick, that's what I want to be the cell called the target cell. I want the value to be 84 for that target cell. And this is the cell I want to change and vary, which is the amount of money between each one of these. So I tell it to solve, and it's starting to play with the numbers. These are the rounded values of these. So all of that's getting played with. Sooner or later it's going to reach 84. And the goal seek is complete. I'll shut that down. So what it comes up with for a guide, if you will, is $10 and so forth. Well, first of all, I want to start with 12. All right. So I'm going to hide all of these columns for a moment. So let's say I want $12 for the top prize. I want $1 for the bottom prize. And I'll start, okay, that's 10, we'll give that. Matter of fact, why don't I just copy all of this stuff? Copy that, and I'll paste it as values. So I put all this on, and I've got 87, so I have to get this down to 84. So I need to get rid of $3 worth. You can say, all right, I want $1 out of there. I'll make that 7. So now at 86, you keep doing that till you're happy with it. So now I wound up with this array. It adds up to 84. The ones in green are the ones I changed from the rounded values. So this is how you do it with goal seek. And by the way, this is the method used a month ago to develop the 16-player version anyways. Now let's update the prizes for the weekend event based on what we decided upon. Now that we've done that, we can shut the filters off. As you can see, the budget is now $300 and the cost per player is 20. So the prize pool has been reconfigured for a 15-player budget of $300. Now let's deal with the short teams issue of number 2. Now let's take care of the short teams. We'll pick relate data and get down here to edit player and team relationships. And yes, we have to keep track of everything we do here. If we scroll down, there's the first short team is Chunk Shot. And I'll draw players for him. I'm going to choose Chunk Shot, and I'll tell you why. Because he's on a skins team, if he's the only one playing against 2 other guys, you might as well use his scores. And the same kind of philosophy works for day 2, where there's a 3-player team needing a 4th player. The 4th player, I'm going to use Bogey Golfer because that's the best handicap of the 3. So let's find Bogey Golfer. There's Bogey Golfer. And the teams have been completed. So item 2 has now been corrected. We're on to item 3. So who replaces bump and run on day 1 skins? Unlike completing short teams due to a lack of players, a player who does not play like bump and run is replaced when scores are entered. So let's plan who bump and run's partner should choose as a replacement. We'll use the team report to find out who is bump and run's playing partner. And bump and run's partner for day 1 skins is just a dubber. So we'll make a note that when day 1 scores are entered, bump and run will be marked as did not play and replaced by just a dubber. Item 3 has been taken care of. So let's play the first round. We'll enter the scores. So I'll fill in the scores and get it right back to you. Okay, I'm back and I filled in a number of scores, but I've reached bump and run who didn't play the first round. So we're going to check him as did not play. And we're going to choose player just a dubber. That's what was the plan. And I'll continue on and I'll get back to you. Okay, all the scores are in. We have one player that's marked as not playing. Let's post. And we're going to adjust everything. Down at the bottom there's some cents. We're going to remove that. We're going to round down the awards to $1 increments. Post them. The budget isn't frozen. We really should do that. So I'm going to go back here to the cost price plan and freeze the budget. And we'll go back to scoring. Getting results again so I can reach the day 1 reports for the treasurer's report for day 1. So I'll bring up that treasurer's report. I'll print it to a PDF. And I'll bring it up. So here you can see is the position budget, and these awards were given to these individual players. On day 2, we left for Billy Goat Country Club in a light rain. By the time we got there, it was pouring buckets, and the decision was made to cancel day 2. So cancel round 2 is the same thing. So we'll cancel round 2. If we proceed, yeah, we'll cancel it. It really doesn't cancel. What it does is it changes the name to event canceled. And it redistributes so that everybody's a winner and they get their prizes, if you will be a reimbursement. But if you remember right, let's go and post these. If you remember right, because we're a 15-player tournament, It's going to be fractional and we're going to round it down. So we'll go to day 2 and we'll post day 2. It's all $4.80. We're going to round it down to $4. And post it. The weekend is really boiled down to one day, but that's okay. So we'll adjust those, round it down, and post it. So in effect, item 4 has been dealt with successfully. So Albatross has added a message to the Treasury report, and I'm picking Get Results to get to this Results, All Results button. And if I pick all winner posts, player award standings, print it to a default printer, and bring it up. So this is the final player standings monetarily. We had a $300 budget, $279 was paid out, leaving $21 in the treasury as unused prizes. I'll put this note on saying thanks to Bump and Run for being a good sport, paying the full tournament fee, but not getting to play due to the day 2 rainout. Bump will be reimbursed $16 to complement his $4 canceled round award. The remaining $5 will be raffled off at Billy Goat Country Club. My thanks to everyone for playing the tournament. Albatross. So Tough Shot hopes that you never experience all these issues in one tournament, but it's nice to know you can resolve them using Golf Tournament Manager. We hope you found this video helpful, and as always, save and exit.